please allow me to give you, because it's mostly women in here, to give you an advice. Never think about this or even talk about this as a woman's issue only.
Men have to get involved in the equality debate. Up until now, and that is the same in Iceland, the debate or the struggle has been driven by women. And sometimes I feel like men look at it as some sort of a threat to their own position. And of course, we are in a position of privilege. We have to admit that, but we have to take part in closing it.
We live in a culture where motherhood is still kind of, glorified in many ways, but then we do not, in parallel, give enough supporting structures, So we live in a culture where women have gone to work, but men have not made the transition to caring into the family and taking the bigger load. So
women tend to bear the major responsibility of family and caring. Now, as a female, our career has to stop, or we have to put it on a break because we have children, and we don't only take one career break. Sometimes we also have to take two, because we tend to care also for elderly parents, for example.
When I had my kids, my 2 daughters, we had 9 months to share. I did the first 3. He, then my husband, did the 3, and then we shared the 3. So when these daughters of mine or ours wake up in the night, they are just as likely to shout out for him as they are for me. And that, believe me, changes everything. If you were to ask him, do you think that this has been a real hurdle in your life? Or he would say, this is by far the best part of my life. I mean, we are not only not giving women opportunities to access the labor market and do what they want, we are not allowing men, to have a say in what is hugely important in everybody's life. We are taking that away from them, acting as if they are colder than us, not as nurturing as us, not as kind as us, and we're saying, please, as I heard this morning, and for me, sorry if I'm being impolite, but one day, I mean, we are allowing them to take several hours off or days off just to sort of enjoy the first moments. For me, this is even more of a gain for a man than it is for a woman. So my daughters, they would just as well go to him. If they are sick, he is as likely to stay at home with them. When the paternity law took place in Iceland in 2000, it was like a total revolution. Because not only then men became real fathers, they took on the responsibility, their sort of estimation of what matters changed dramatically, and the ones hiring people, the employers, could no longer say, well, I'm going to hire you instead of you because it's more likely that you will leave.
Ensuring that family-friendly measures are actually family-friendly measures and not female-friendly measures, that if there is flexible work environment, it is flexible for both. I myself have made use of flexible work environment in my organization, and I see that also my male counterparts are also making use of it. If we need to go out, pick up the children, I do it, but my counterparts also do it, which, at least for me, it feels that we are on a level playing field. I am not the only one leaving work at a certain time. They also do it.
Gender pay gap does not necessarily, in my view, come from discrimination between paying a male or female for the same job. Less it will contribute to that, but it could be the fact that the employers are not fostering an environment where flexibility and therefore motherhood can be juggled.
in Malta, we don't even have a right. There is no legal right to ask to work flexibly, which I think is problematic in itself, because you are at the mercy of your own employer who can tell you no, and that's it. That would be the end of the story. Probably then the mother would say, then I have to stop, or I have to, kind of reduce my hours or something like that. So the fact that we don't even have a right to ask in itself is a statement. So I think there's a lot to be done.